Okay, guys, the number 3 question will now be solved. Okay, so this is still the continuation of the quadratic equation by factorization method. Okay, here we have x squared, which is x squared minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Okay, now just our usual method, the first step here is what? Is to multiply the first term by the last term. The first term is x squared, the last term is plus 6, so that you have x squared times 6. Times 6 equal to what? 6x squared. Okay, so what's the next? You find out the factors of 6, those things that can divide 6 without any remainder, so that you have, since you have 6 here, then we'll have 1. 1 can divide 6 without remainder. 2 can divide 6 without remainder. 3 can divide 6 without remainder. 6 itself. Good. Now, among these 4 factors of 6, we are going to arrange them or separate them into pairs, so that we have 1 and the 6, because 1 times 6 will give us 6. That's why we are using 1 and 6. Then 2 and 3, so that 2 times 3 will also give us 6. So that's the first pair. And then the second pair now is 2 and 3. Okay. Now, which one are we going to use? Now, we are done with this, because we have already known that whichever pair we use will still give us this 6. So our major interest is our middle term now. Okay, just as usual. Now, listen and watch. So now, if you look at this now, you will quickly understand that this minus 5 here, we have plus 6 here, and we have minus 5 here. So this minus 5 here now, for us to be able to get this minus 5, what are we going to do? Because we should also be considering the sign that is attached here, whether it is plus or minus. Okay, so if we use 6, if we use 1 and 6, you see that if we say for us now to get 5, we must do minus, which means 1 minus 6 is minus 5. But then 1 times minus 6, if we were using 1 and minus 6, 1 minus 6 will actually give us minus 5. But 1 times minus 6 cannot give us the last term here, which is this plus 6, because it is going to give us minus 6. But what we have here is plus 6. So that one is gone. Okay, we are not going to use it. And if we say 6, if we are going to use all the plus just because of this place, it is going to give us this one. But what of this middle term? It cannot give us minus 5, because it is going to give us 1 plus 6, which is 7. And if we say minus everything, just for us to also get this plus here, it is going to give us minus 1 times minus 6, which is plus 6. But minus 1 minus 6 can never give us minus 5. So let's throw it off. Let's go to the second pair. In the second pair, which is 2 and 3. So what we have here now is 2 and 3. And if we are going to use positive, then it is going to be plus 2 and plus 3. Then plus 2 times plus 3 can give us this last term, which is positive. This positive is our major interest. We have already seen that all the pairs can give us what we want here. It's just for us now to get the sign that is here. So, but if we say 2 plus, since we are using all of them positive, positive 2 and positive 3 will give us positive 5, but it is not what is here. What is here is minus, negative 5. So that one gone. So the next sign here is, if we are to consider minus and plus here, so what we will be having is minus 2 times plus 3, which will give us minus here, which is not possible. What we have here is plus. But if you say minus 2 plus 3 is already minus 1, so it cannot still satisfy the middle term. So, but if we were to use minus and minus, good. Now, minus 2 times minus 3 will give us plus 6 here, which satisfies the last term. Then the second term now, if we have minus 2 minus 3, it is going to give us minus 5x, which means the one that satisfies the whole terms now, both the second term and the last term, is minus 2 and minus 3. So we are going to use minus 2 and minus 3. Okay, good. So if we use minus 2 and minus 3, what we'll have here is x squared minus 2x minus 3x, so that minus 2x minus 3x will give us minus 5x. Okay, plus 6, because minus 2x times minus 2 times minus 3 will give us plus 6, will give us plus at the last term, which is equal to 0. So we'll separate them, so that x squared minus 2x minus, which is this minus here, okay, bracket 3x. Now, since this minus has come outside and it is governing governing everything inside this bracket, then we'll have that minus times plus is minus, okay, minus 6 equal to 0. So that this one now, this minus that is here now, since we are already bracketing, putting everything in brackets, so that even if you want to get this back from this now, you just say minus times this plus 3x, it will become minus 3x, and minus times minus is plus. You see the thing now, guys. Let's go. Now, don't be confused though. Now, the next step is to find the common factors in these brackets, so that here we have x squared minus 2x. So what's common between x squared and minus 2x? It is single x, so you bring it out, x bracket. Now, if x divides x squared, you will have only single x remaining. Then if x divides this minus 2x, x will give you 1, which means 2 times 1 is 2, so it's minus 2 that will remain. Minus, which is this minus now. What's common between 3x and minus 6 is 3. Is 3. What they have in common is 3, because this does not have x. So it's only 3 now that can divide this bracket well, because this 3 can divide itself and the 3 can divide 6. Okay, so you have 3 bracket, then x, because 3 divide 3x, it will remain only x, minus, now 3 divided 6, you have 2 equal to 0. Okay, so now outside the bracket, x minus 3, this x and this minus 3, okay, and pick or choose one bracket because they are common. Choose one, which is x minus 2 equal to 0. Is that clear, guys? Now, okay, so that x minus 3 equal to 0 or x minus 2 equal to 0. So x is equal to 0 minus 3. If it crosses the equality side, it becomes what? Plus. So it becomes 3 or x equal to what? This minus 2 will go to this place to become 2 plus 2. Okay? So therefore, x equal to 3 or 2. This becomes the answer. Thank you guys for listening. So in our next lecture or our next class, we are going to discuss or to solve quadratic equations using general formula method. Okay, so after which the next session will be using will be by completing the squares method, and I think that will end our lecture. Until the very time I will now have the chance, or I will be disposed, I will now teach you guys how to use graph generally. Okay, thank you guys, bye.